What is up? This is your LA in a minute. And with all this recent rain, this is shaping up to be the rainiest November in Los Angeles history, which is apt since November Rain is one of the most iconic rock ballads in world history, created by legendary Los Angeles band Guns N' Roses. So with all this, November Rain we've been having, I wanted to find out the story of November Rain. Let's get into it. November Rain by Guns N' Roses is one of the most celebrated rock ballads of all time, and it's deeply intertwined with LA's musical evolution and the band's own tumultuous history. Emerging from the vibrant, gritty Los Angeles rock scene of the mid-1980s, Guns N' Roses had already made a seismic impact with their debut album, Appetite for Destruction, which would go on to sell 30 million copies, making it one of the largest-selling albums of all time. That success cemented the reputation of Guns N' Roses as raw, streetwise rockers with deep ties to LA's clubs and counterculture. But even before Appetite for Destruction, it was during the 1986 recording sessions at Sound City Studios in Van Nuys, when they were finalizing their first album, that Axl Rose first conceived and worked on what would become November Rain. The song went through a few iterations, a sprawling 15-minute version and a shorter acoustic version, but it didn't make either Appetite or their sophomore album, GNR Lies. It was inspired by Axl Rose's relationship with Aaron Everly and musically influenced by the epic arrangements of Elton John, especially Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding. It was clear that what would become November Rain was more cinematic and orchestrated, and creative disagreements arose. Slash and Duff were particularly wary of moving away from the band's hard rock roots, but Rose's persistence ultimately paid off. The track ended up making their next album, Use Your Illusion 1, in 1991, and it clocked in at nearly 9 minutes, carefully arranged and serving as the emotional centerpiece of the album. When it was released as a single in 1992, it was an instant commercial success. It reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, and it was the longest song ever to reach the top 10 at that point. But it was the lavish music video with a budget over $1 million that catapulted the song to eternal reverence. It featured an intense narrative and dramatic visuals such as Slash playing in front of an abandoned church in a New Mexico desert. It circled back to the band's LA roots at Hollywood's Rainbow Bar and Grill. Of course, that memorable wedding sequence, which was filmed at St. Brendan Church in Hollywood, which was built in 1927 and conceived as part of a trilogy bookended by videos for Don't Cry and Estranged, and starring supermodel and Axl's then-girlfriend Stephanie Seymour. It became one of MTV's most requested videos of all time. The video was directed by Andy Morahan, who was inspired by a short story, Without You, from a short story collection, The Language of Fear, by Del James. The video resonated so much that 34 years later, it broke YouTube records. It remains a powerful symbol of GNR's creative zenith and their transformation from Sunset Strip outlaws to global superstars. So thank you, Guns N' Roses, for creating a memorable soundtrack to this November Rain. All right, LA, it's been a minute.